Does not appear to be service. Okay. So, Ms. Cormack, would you like the court to reset the case to give you more time to get Lonnie Hand served with notice?
I definitely need an extension on it. And I'm just not sure where to go from here because I found out from trying to find where he was. He's taken my friend again, whose daughter I'm adopting. It's my daughter's half sister is how we're related. So he took the mother, my friend, against her will, I believe, and from her dad's credit card records, they were in Idaho, and then Ohio, then Pennsylvania. More recently, sometimes she texts me from random phone number, and she says she can't say where she is. She told me she would never let him take her again because he took her out of state, and she's already accessed help from I believe some anti-trafficking agency to get away from him before and get back to this state. I'm not sure what to do at this point.
I'm not going to be able to give you any guidance about how to proceed with your anti-harassment case, other than you can continue to attempt to have Lonnie Hand served. As far as the other issues that you're raising here, those sound to me like they might be law enforcement issues. You may want to pursue that. This isn't a law enforcement agency or anything.
Sorry, I wasn't sure how to do that.
You may want to start with law enforcement just because it sounds to me like you might be reporting some exploitation of a person against their will, which can be a criminal offense. So
I want to report that, and it relates to this because I don't know where to have him served at. If he shows up to this area, of course, local law enforcement could serve him.
Yeah, you'll want to work with a process server, or if you choose, you can work with the sheriff's office. They have a civil office for service of process, and they might be able to get service too. They have resources to try and find people for that reason. So yeah, that might be a good place to start.
Thanks for extending the order.
That is your notice to come back on December 9th. Yeah, and don't wait for an order to be decided before you report any kind of criminal offenses, okay? It's an order is a completely separate kind of thing from whether crimes have occurred. So if you think crimes have occurred, you should report them.
Where do I go to do that?
Police department, sheriff's office, police department. They'll tell you the right law enforcement agency if they think you're at the wrong one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you bet. I'm going to go to the 3 cases involving respondent Harris. Kristen Harris, is that you there? You want to unmute your microphone, please?
Hi.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
The petitioners are Rogers, Warren, and Bear. Are you all here still?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
Your Honor.
Okay, if you all don't mind, I would hear all these petitions together since they all involve Ms. Harris as a respondent. And then I will decide them separately. So the decision on one won't necessarily control the decision on the others. But I think just because you're all sort of here together, it might make sense if I just hear it all together rather than separate it into 3 cases. Is that okay with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then. I think you may have heard what I said about how the procedure will work in the earlier case that was just heard. So I'm going to have each of you, all the petitioners and Ms. Harris, raise your right hands, please. And do each of you swear the testimony that you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Your Honor.
All right, and I will nominate Ms. Rogers to go first.
Okay, I want this protection order because I'm tired of our neighbor Christian screaming at me over the fence, cussing at me, profanity, the awful language, and it happens all the time. I can't go out in my backyard and enjoy the backyard area anymore. It's gotten to the point where I dread coming home from work, because when I come home from work, she says something to me when I get out of my car. It's just really out of hand, and that's why I want the protection order.
Let
That's all.
me, I do have a follow-up question based on your petition, because one of the things you said in there, I'll just read it to you to refresh your memory here. You said, because Kristen will not stop screaming over the fence at me when I get home from work, calling me foul words and threatening me. Can you tell me what it is that Ms. Harris did or said that you believe means that she's threatening you?
She said at one point, you got a job now, right? You're not going to have one for long. And also she said, why don't you come over the fence and I'll deal with you, that type of thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Ms. Rogers, is there anything else that you think I need to know before I hear from Ms. Warren and Ms. Bear?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Then how about Ms. Warren? Why don't you go ahead then?
I just want her to stop yelling cuss words, calling us names. The people that come to visit, she yells at them, calling them names. She has gone out into the street to our neighbors and spreading words of horrible words about us. I just want it to stop.
Okay.
The flash drive that has her words on it is just says it all.
Okay. So you had asked the court specifically to listen to the recordings that you submitted.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. And then Ms. Bear?
Yes, Your Honor. I like Brett and Rosemary. She's been hollering profanities at me for a long time. She's approached me while I was taking care of someone's yard here. She grabbed me by the arms, was going to push me down, threatened to beat me up. I have a statement in the paperwork of the gentleman who witnessed that, and Rosemary witnessed it. I've asked her to stop. I've been nice about it. I ignore her as best I can. But she attacks me verbally every time I come over to see Rosemary, or I go to visit somebody else here in the park. She's approached other residents here, telling them that I'm responsible for killing her mother, and God rest her soul, her mother was a beautiful woman. But and she put that kind of stuff on Facebook also. Those were the screenshots, accusing me of wanting to get into her mom's house. I can't do this anymore. No, I just want her to be quiet, to leave me alone. That's all I'm asking is for her to keep her mouth shut and leave me alone. I'm sorry, but that's it.
All right. And then do you need me to know anything else before I hear from Ms. Harris?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think so.
All right. Then I will hear from you, Ms. Harris.
Good morning, Your Honor. I don't even know where to start. If anybody had an opportunity to view my response, they did come this morning.
You cut out there can you just repeat that? I didn't hear it.
I don't know if you've had the opportunity to review my response. It did come very late. We had we've had some computer issues, but it's there. It's been filed. I've got receipt of that. There is a police report. Exhibit, I'm not sure. I want to say it might be, I believe it's Exhibit A. And that is where you will learn that when my mother called to request a welfare check, or excuse me, when Terry Bear called to request a welfare check on my mother, Terry Bear lied to them and claimed that she was the only person that could be contacted. She basically said that my youngest brother was like a homeless, violent drug addict. And when they asked her who had the keys, who's a family member, she omitted the existence of my brother and I. She knew that both of us had keys. She attempted to either control the flow of information. I don't know if she felt important, but don't even listen to my testimony, of which I've got a ton. Just read what that police report says. They know exactly why I am mad. Terry Bear does not live here. And women who are accused of neglecting seniors should never, ever be allowed in a senior park with other vulnerable seniors. I have evidence that between her and Jana Worthen, a name that doesn't get mentioned, strategically, names are not present in their filing. They are attempting to mislead this court. They are attempting to malign me and my character when the truth is that what Terry did was evil. It was criminal. All you have to do is review my evidence. All you have to do is review my testimony. Rosemary Warren has peddled methamphetamine, or at least enjoyed a lot of it, for the last 15 years. We have had no peace. We keep to ourselves. We don't cause any problems, but we knew what was going on because my mother was a methamphetamine addict too. Not only are you going to find that police report that is quite damning, you're going to find the huge amount of methamphetamine that I found just beyond where my mother's body was. I can't even tell you. Then she Facebook messages my adult daughter and insinuates that my little brother beat and murdered or did something to my mother. There's that, Then she ends up posting it on Facebook before my family even knows. I have all of the evidence. I have the text where I say, if you're going to defend Jana Worthen, and if you're going to participate in the neglect of my mother, almost 1 year ago, I found my mother almost dead, covered in her own feces, with Jana high as a kite. Initially, Terry said, oh my God, that's horrible. If she did that to my mother, I'd have killed her, right? Till about 48 hours later when Terry got the itch, and suddenly Terry got amnesia. She literally pretended like we had never had this conversation. Then Terry started to call my mother endlessly, attempting to get the house keys and their privileges back. I've got concerns because Rosemary's boyfriend, which is really why we are all sitting here, has 6 sexual assault protection orders against him. I don't know if it's 6 separate. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pay the money to look. Maybe it's all a coincidence, but it sure does not look good. I'm not trying to be, I don't know what I'm trying to be. I can't put into words the absolute hell that these women, they have shattered our peace. The neighbor across the street had to rig an elaborate security system with lights that could blind somebody from 5 miles away because her traffic spiked and had become so blatant at that time. If you'd like to, you can hear from him directly. Rosemary continues to invite a dangerous element here. And when they are people standing accused of hurting and abusing my own mother, hey, listen, my mom did methamphetamine, but I loved my mother. I also knew nobody influenced her. My mom made her own choices. I never blamed them. I think that drugs are people don't have drug problems, they have pain problems. I think that that applies to next door as well, but that does not give them license to do harm. It does not give them license to put others in jail, and it does not give them license to antagonize those who they have injured. Terry Bear needs to never come back in this park ever. Jana Worthen, same. Dan D'Amatos, are you kidding me? He literally has been convicted of abusing a vulnerable adult. Jana Worthen and Terry Bear stand accused. Now, Terry's responsibility was not as high as Jana's, I will admit that, but Terry is guilty for failing to protect my mother. She sat right there and let Jana did it, and then worse, she defended Jana and made excuses for the abhorrent behavior. Rosemary did the exact same thing. Rosemary promised me these people would not be back. Within about 2 days, here they were. So much was left out. I mean, it was amusing to me. Rosemary's literally going to say, in all my 74 years, I've never heard language like that. Well, you know what? In all my 53, I've probably never seen the drugs that have gotten pumped through her house. Come on, the audacity. My entire family is here. What few is left of them, and they are heartbroken and they are angry. My father loved my mother. They were not married, but they were friends. Doris was her friend. Mary Jo was her friend.
All right, Ms. Harris, just take a few seconds here to sum it all up, okay?
Well, it comes down to this. They're completely drug addicted. If you read my statement, you will learn. This is nothing new. Rosemary has had problems with law and property management and other tenants accusing her of the same for probably the duration of the 20 years. And again, this is all documented. I mean, they can shake their heads. Hey, if you want to, I don't mind you continuing this and reading through what is available, what I've been able to enter. I don't know why Terry Bear claims that she lives next door. We have Terry Bear's physical address, and no, it's not Rosemary's. And how can I serve Rosemary? Why would I do it if they're this is just... It defies all logic that these women actually attempted this action and thought that all of this wasn't going to come out. So I thank them. I thank them for this.
All right, Ms. Harris, let's just stop there. This is starting to get a little bit repetitive now. Okay, I've heard what you had to say. Right. This none of these cases of the three of them resulted in temporary orders being issued, and I think this is probably a pretty clear example of why it's important to hear from both sides before making any kind of a decision. In each of these three cases, there's no basis to issue an anti-harassment order. Ms. Harris is obviously a passionate and animated person who's not afraid to speak her mind. I could imagine that her shouting at people or insulting them is not particularly fun or pleasant, but people being difficult and even unpleasant to their neighbors is not what anti-harassment orders are for. That's a different, when you say harassment in common everyday speech or conversation, it means a different thing than legal harassment. So in each case here, I do not find that harassment has been proved. In each case, there will continue to not be an order. So in each of your 3 cases, your petition for anti-harassment order against Ms. Harris will be denied.
Your Honor, can I say something?
You can say something, but keep in mind, I've already made my decision.
Yeah, I know you have. What happens after if the person seeks revenge on you when something bad happens?
Okay, that's not a question that I can answer.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I'd just like to
Okay.
say I'm sorry that you are going to allow her to continue to bully me and everything else. And the next time she approaches me and hits me, I'll call the police. Because what she has stated about her mother, I loved her mother to death. She was jealous of our friendship. I'm not going to go into it any further. I just want to say thank you, Your Honor, for listening. And I'm sorry that you were bamboozled by her.
All right, that will conclude your hearings for today.
Thank you, Your
Good.
Honor.
Thank you. It's up here.
Yes, Your Honor.
You ready too, Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
All right, can I have each of you raise your right hands, please? Do you each swear that the testimony that you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Pepard and Ms. Mendoza Noriega, you're the petitioners in this case. You get to go first, so go right ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. So on the 18th of October, Mr. Mitchell assaulted my wife with an unprovoked attack. My wife called 911, and I would like to draw your attention to that 911 call because it's clear the level of distress in Michelle's voice. And you can also hear Mr. Mitchell continue to threaten her in the 911 call audio. Furthermore, in the respondent's statement, he claimed that he approached Michelle carefully and cautiously because of a perceived history. However, he still admits that he took the piece of equipment from Michelle. And after he admits that Michelle had denied him 3 times to take that piece of equipment. And honestly, I feel for the safety of my wife and my family. And as a result of this unprovoked attack, the respondent has proved to be unstable and not able to control his emotions or impulses. And I fear that the escalation of this may turn into a sexual assault or fatal injury in the future. Since that date until now, I've already purchased protective equipment with a total cost of $891.38, including recording glasses and self-defense pepper ball launcher. I feel that a protective order is necessary for the safety and security of both my wife and my family. You got anything?
And you're talking about, Mr. Pepard, just to be clear, you're talking about the incident that's described in the petition as having occurred at LA Fitness?
That's correct.
Okay. So Ms. Mendoza Noriega, can I hear from you about that circumstance? Because if I recall, you're the person who was involved in it.
Correct. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Are you asking me to explain what happened that day? Okay.
Yes.
I was working out that day around 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I was there. I was on a section where there's cables, and I had a cable hooked onto my left foot at the time. And I didn't see who was around me until I felt a presence of like a person to my left side, and I have my headphones in. As I'm doing the exercise, I look over and I realize who it is. And I don't have, I don't know him personally, but I have a history with him because for the past 10 years at that gym, he has always tried to intimidate me with his stares and looks. So like, I already don't want to be near this person. I try my best to avoid him. So when I first saw him, I was like, frazzled and like, whoa, why are you so close to me? Like face to face close. And he asks me, I take my headphone out as I realize, hey, can I use this bench? And on the bench was my belongings, my phone, my water bottle, and my fanny pack at the time. I was using the bench, but, you know, I told him no. He says that he asked me 3 times. He never asked me 3 times, Your Honor. He asked me once, and I told him no, firmly no. He seemed to not take that well, so what he did was he started reaching for the bench with both his hands while my stuff was on there. So I just reacted and I told him I'm using it once again. So I grabbed the bench too. So he's got his 2 hands holding it at the bottom. And so I grab on top. So at this point, my stuff is starting to slide off. And so I just react again and I try to sit on it. Maybe not my best choice, but I tried to sit on it, but I was too slow. So he already had it in midair and I tried to grab it again. My stuff fell all over the floor. He claims in the police report that he gently put it on the ground just to make sure her stuff didn't fall. That's blatantly a false lie, Your Honor. My stuff fell and I reacted. So as I'm grabbing the bench and he's grabbing the bench and we have a hold on it, both of us, he pulls. Obviously he's stronger than me. He's a man's strength compared to a woman. There's no competition there. So he pulls hard. I try to pull back, and while we're doing that, he has it in his hands, but then he proceeds, because he sees that I'm not letting go, he proceeds to like push me off like this, like very hard, and then he nudges me, like he uses his body, because he sees that I try to grab it again, and he uses his body and like nudges me over, and then he's like, word for word, Your Honor, he said, girl, please, I'm taking it. You're not using it. I'm taking it. So he finally has the hold of the bench. I am not gonna fight a man because I'm a 5 foot, 110-pound woman. You know, I have no comparison. So I reacted, you know, properly. I feel like I put my hands up and I immediately was just like stressed out and scared because I didn't know what he was gonna do. And as I'm calling 911, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm traumatized by it because I've never had this happen, but, you know, I'm calling 911 shaking and I'm telling the operator that I just got assaulted. And as I'm doing that in the 911 call that you received, he says, girl, watch your mouth, and gets in my face. Like as I have the phone in my hand, he's in my face and, you know, he's a big guy, right? So I'm just like hoping that like this 911 call can hear it. So like, at least if I get hurt, they know that it's this man. And so then I'm like, watch my mouth, okay? And I tell the operator, can you hear him? And the operator obviously confirms that. She's like, yeah, I can hear him. And then she asks me where I'm at. And then as soon as that, he says, girl, you better watch out. Girl, you better watch out. Twice. That whole phrase has like ingrained in my head over and over. And got in my face. I'm surprised nobody helped me, Your Honor. Nobody, even the LA Fitness staff, implied that I'm fit enough to protect myself. Nobody believes me and I just feel very like scared. I'm on edge. I have a new baby and I have another child. And not even at just the gym, Your Honor. I don't feel safe out and about with my kids or my family. And just a very I'm just scared, Your Honor, and I don't like to live in fear. We go to the same gym facility. I don't know him personally, and he is one of those people that keeps telling, he talks to everybody, is what he has said, and he talks to so many people, and my neighbor is a witness to knowing that he overheard him speaking about the situation about 3-4 days ago with someone at LA Fitness, just blabbing about, you know, what I have done when I called 911 against him. So I know he's speaking ill of me, and I know that's not an offense, but I don't feel safe, Your Honor, because he has like other men that he speaks with that I observe, and like I'm scared that I'm gonna go to the gym or I'm with my child, my baby, which is right here, you know, my other baby, and he's going to attack me from the back. Like the words of watch out, watch your mouth, and got in my face. I just like, I'm so traumatized by it, Your Honor. And I want peace, and I want this to be over with. And this is majority for the safety of myself and my family. And I don't want anything to happen to where that's when people pay attention, Your Honor. I tried to like avoid him and keep my distance even before this incident happened, and you know, I kept my distance because I knew I had this bad feeling about this man. You know, has ill intent with the way he stares at me. He at the gym after the incident, I was working out, and him and some other woman I don't know didn't just stare at me with like, oh, you know, you stare. It's like long stares. Like they lasted about 2 to 3 minutes each time, and they were just both with their arms like this looking at me. And I don't know what's gonna happen to me if I go into the locker room. I don't know who he knows. You know, I stand out. I know I stand out, and I don't know who he has spoke about me and who is out there to hurt me. And that's how on edge and like I am right now. I need this protection order, Your Honor, because like I just want this to end and leave on good terms, Your Honor. Recently when he got served, you didn't receive the video in time, but we have evidence in the video where he got served, and you hear a man in the background. I don't know who it is, but you see him and you don't see the man in the background. And the man in the background is saying, oh, is that a restraining order? And starts laughing. And then the man who served him was like, yeah, it is. And then the other man, the person we can't see, was laughing about the incident. He's like, oh, I was just kidding. Are you serious? Ha ha ha. Like thinking it's a joke. Like no woman's safety is a joke, or any person's safety is a joke, Your Honor. And I'm just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel safe is my point. So that's all I have to say.
Well, Mr. Mitchell, why don't you go ahead and tell me your side of it, and then I'll make a decision.
Okay, should I start on the incident or just whatever?
Well, that seems to be what the petitioner
Well, I do
is
have, it took me a
accused
while
of.
to get these management statements of what they saw. I have an eyewitness to everything, and I have all this here. Plus, took a while to get management because everybody's spread out. So, but I finally got it, so I wasn't able to follow it any type of way. And plus, photographs of how Michelle and I know each other. This is a bodybuilding days back in the day, and I also have pictures of where we were in the gym, and that's the stand that we speak of. So I just had this before. So anyway, that particular day, Your Honor, I come in like any other day. Everyone knows me from the gym. I've been there over 20 years. I'm a personal trainer there also. I just work certain times. I don't work every day, but bottom line is everyone knows who I am. They come up to me, they speak to me, whatever the case is. It's just, they call me the mayor of LA Fitness. That's the little nickname they give me. But anyway, Michelle, that particular day, so I'm gonna go right to the incidents. That particular day I come in, walk in, it's shoulder day. I decided to go work out where I always do by the Smith machine. And I noticed there's a bench, there's a stool inside of LA Fitness no one uses. And if they do use it, they always use it for the wrong reason. They store stuff on top of it. So 99% of the time, if you go up to someone and you notice that stool is in the corner because that's where it sits, management wanted to get rid of the stool, but they kept it around because I asked them to keep it because it's very old. Anyway, I noticed that it's over there by Michelle. And I said, man, I took a deep breath and I said, man, let me walk over there anyway. So I noticed that she's on her phone. She has her maybe earbuds in the ear, I suppose, but it's Michelle. And there's a history about Michelle that her and I have encountered back in 2018, which was another line incident, but that's another story. But anyway, it was settled. I thought it was settled, but I haven't spoken to Michelle since 2018, period. Okay, don't look at her, don't talk to her. I don't have anything to say to her since 2018. So that particular day, she's standing in the corner, and the bench is there, not being used, but I noticed that it has her water bottle and I think maybe a jacket on top of it. I can't recall. But I know her cell phone wasn't on top of it because she was on her cell phone appeared to be texting someone. I go up to her, take a deep breath. I tap the bench, never touch her. Okay. I say, hey, are you using this bench? She notices that is me. She turns around and she says, I'm using this bench to store my belongings on top of. So I say, well, Michelle, if you're not going to use the bench for what it's used for, I would like to use it. She repeats herself the second time and says, well, I said again, I am storing my stuff on top of the bench. So I said, Michelle, really, if you're not going to use it, I'm going to use it for what it's used for. So I grab the bottom part of this bench from the outside. She's on the inside. I grab her with one hand. And as I'm grabbing it, Michelle noticed that I grabbed it. She now grabs the top of the thing with two hands. There's never a shrug back and forth. We never went back and forth. Her belongings started to slip off of the thing. So she decided that her belongings were more important. So as she grabs her stuff, I politely take it and I go next door to her, right here, to work out. She mentions that I got right into her face. From that point on, we never had another conversation. I was able to do 5 sets without even saying a word to Michelle. Michelle leaves her area here and decides to walk over to me, stands there, calls 911. As she's standing there, this is the body language that she's giving. She's standing there like this, talking to 911 operator, explaining to them what I was doing, how I did it, and who I did it to. Not only does she stands there, she continues to walk closer to me, hoping that I cannot say she was doing it on purpose, but it appeared that she was trying to get close enough to me so I would bump into her while I'm trying to change my weight on a totally different machine, nowhere near Michelle. Michelle walks over to me. As I'm changing the machine to do something else, she inches closer to me. And I said, wow, this is too much. So I was smart enough to say, well, she's going to stand here. So I decided to go around the other side of the machine to keep from bumping into her because I see what she was trying to do. So as she's describing me over the phone, she now says, well, there's a strange man that has walked up to me and assaulted me. She's calling 911. So I'm standing there still working out, haven't said a word to her. Hadn't said a single word to her. She now says, yeah, he's a black man. Yes. And he's old. Yes, whoever she's talking to. Oh, no, he's very old. And oh, excuse me. Oh, what did you say? I didn't say a word to her. She's saying that I'm saying something to her, but I'm not saying nothing to Michelle. Then Michelle says, so, he might run, because that's what they do. Okay? She says it twice. Should I stay here? Should I get help? Yes. Could you send someone to me because my left hand is injured? Yes, I need medical attention. Mind you, I had enough of listening to her. I left the scene and I go up to talk to management because I know what she's doing here. As I'm talking to management, it's just me and the manager up front. I'm trying to explain to him there's an incident just occurred back here, letting you know what's going on, who it involves. And I'm here to just tell you what's going on. She immediately, wherever she came from, came up to the front, got in between me and the manager of the club and started to yell, he assaulted me. He assaulted me. And I said, Michelle, I did not touch you. She says, pardon my language, you're just trying to protect your own ass. So the manager kind of breaks the little conversation up. The next thing comes out of Michelle's mouth is, my husband will be up here soon. I never even met her husband. Don't know who he is. I've seen him, but I have no idea who the guy is. So I said, well, I hope, Michelle, he does not come here and try to start something with me. End of conversation. There was nothing else ever said with Michelle.
But then the police eventually
came.
The
police came. Michelle sits over there. I see her because I never left the front. Never did I leave the front. Mm-hmm. The police got her statement. She had a hoodie on. She decides to take the hoodie off right in front of the firemen and the police officers. For whatever reason she's doing it, I don't know. So as she's taking it off, I'm standing there patiently until my turn came. The police comes over. He said, would you like to make a statement? I said, sure. Give me your side of the story. I give him my side of the story. I go over and I come back. I have no idea what transpired after that. Okay. Shortly after that, maybe about a week or two, I don't know. I can't keep up with it, but I was served by a gentleman in the gym.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that part.
So that's the moral of the story.
Okay. So I read the police report because she submitted it. And do you have any quarrel with the statement that's attributed to you?
I have no idea what she wrote.
I mean, I'm not talking about what she said.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. You told me what you heard her say.
Sure.
But there are statements attributed to you in the police report. Do you have any quarrel with any of those?
Did I read it? Is that the same thing that I read?
Yes.
Where
you told the police your side of it.
Well, I gave my side of the story, and I told them. They said, "Well, you know what? We can't arrest you. That's your word against her. If she decides to pursue,
yada. Consistent with what's in the police report. All right. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't have any objection.
But I do have an eyewitness with a letter, and it was signed by management because I didn't want you to think that I didn't hire somebody to write this. So this is something that was written by one guy. I mean, I know who he is, but he didn't want to give his name for whatever the reason is. She also walked up to him after the incident because he shared that with me. He said, well, she came up to me and apologized to him. He said, sorry you had to witness this. He didn't understand why she apologized to him, but she did. And I asked him to write a statement and tell me exactly what you saw. He writes this statement, he gives it to management, and I have it right here before the court, Your Honor. And it's, like I said, it's signed by the assistant manager at LA Fitness, as well as other character witnesses statements that will describe who I am and how I get down. But Michelle and I don't really have a past. It's just that I was competing one particular year and she was competing in the same show. And she would like everyone to think that I was a strange person to her, but I am not a strange person. And it's someone who's never even harassed her in any way. I know that there is something in the police report, I believe, or the court papers that she stated that I tried to ask her out and said something about, it's in this right, it's in the court papers, stating that if I was 20 years younger, I would petition. Right. Okay. And I said, she said, if I was 20 years younger, then I would want to date her. And I'm like, that still wouldn't work because you're a child. So that's something I know I didn't do. But she claims that that's the reason why she have an issue with me because I'm sorry. She claimed that I'm the one that had the issue with her because she resented me, which is so not true. And she has a case against one of our personal managers. I mean, yeah, personal trainers now. And I don't want to call her name, but there's another incident that she has with another staff member, which is a female. And I don't really want to go into it because that's a case that's probably out there. But anyway.
Probably not relevant to this case.
It's not relevant to this case, but it definitely shows her pattern and what she appears to be up to when it comes to certain things, because that is not my character.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
All right. I've listened carefully to what everybody's had to say here. I've reviewed the petition, the attached police report, recordings that were made, and written statements that were also made and submitted to the court. Now, before really anything else, I think it's clear that the petition here does not establish a course of conduct, and all by itself, that's fatal to the petition. So in other words, in order for unlawful harassment to occur under the law, there has to be what's called a course of conduct, which is a series of events that are directed at a specific person that are detrimental or harmful to that person. And this is an incident, not a course of conduct. So all by itself, that would be a reason that the order could not be issued. And that may very well be why a temporary order was not issued either. And then on top of that, I've listened to both of you, well, all three of you. I guess mainly it's Miss Mendoza Noriega, because she's the person who was present and witnessed the events. And the description of what occurred here, which has been told to me by Miss Mendoza Noriega, been told to me by Mr. Mitchell, and I've read it in the police report and the written statements that were submitted by both sides. Even that does not establish that an assault occurred. So even if this were to be based on a single incident, I can't find by a preponderance of the evidence that an assault occurred here in the disagreement over who is going to use the table or the bench or the stool, or however it's characterized. So there's no basis to issue an order in this case. So the petition for a anti-harassment order will be denied. There was no temporary order issued in this case, so there's no order to recall or terminate. Right, I've written up a written order consistent with the decision that I just announced, and it'll be available to all the parties. And Mr. Mitchell, since you're here, you can just get a copy of it from the clerk. Yeah, she'll make a copy of it for you right now.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasted time.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what I understand.
06. Mr. Swinning's petition for an anti-harassment order against Mr. Fields. Mr. Swinning, are you ready to go?
I am, Your Honor. Yes.
Are you ready as well, Mr. Fields?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I
Yes,
have you
sir.
both raise your right hands, please? And do you each swear that the testimony that you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Swinning, then as the petitioner in this case, you get to go first. So go ahead, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Fields and I live in the same apartment complex, and his behavior has caused me some distress and fear. And on July 7th, Mr. Fields came pounding on my door, demanding money and threatening to hire somebody to take care of me. And this video was captured and reported to the police and also submitted for this case. And on July 9th, Mr. Fields cornered me in the parking lot as I tried to get in my car. And he yelled things like, "I'm going to beat your effing ass," and I F you up. He kept lunging at me, and you can also see in the video, despite it being blurry, it was still submitted to with the police report. And also you can see the figure lunging towards me. He also said, as I finally got in my car and as I was driving away, I heard him yelling, "Don't let me catch you back here in this effing parking lot." This was also reported to staff and property management. And immediately after this, while I was reporting it, Mr. Fields also called 911 and falsely accused me of stealing his phone. And after Officer Magdaleno was the one who later told me about this claim that he made and advised me that I wasn't in any trouble. This false accusation is part of Mr. Fields' ongoing attempts to harass and intimidate me. And in August, I found some empty cans of cat food placed under my car tire, a likely attempt to damage my vehicle. I emailed property management, who responded and suggested that I get an anti-harassment order. Mr. Fields then filed for a protection order against me, which was denied by the court on September 7th. And in that petition, he made numerous false and absurd accusations against me, with which the judge found to be without merit, and it was dismissed on the same day. And most recently on August 21st, Mr. Fields filed a baseless small claims case against me for $5,000, claiming an, in quote, money owing is his reasoning. This appears to be a retaliation attempt because his previous protection order against me was denied by the court, and his claim lacks any evidence or legitimate basis. There was nothing filed along with it. These incidents has definitely caused me significant impacted and definitely significant stress of my well-being. The stress has worsened my Tourette syndrome symptoms and causing increased tics and severe migraines and muscle soreness. I've had to miss work and my academic performance has been declined. I've repeatedly told Mr. Fields to stop his behavior, but he continues to harass and intimidate me. His actions, including the false accusations and the frivolous legal actions, have created a hostile environment for me and making me feel really unsafe in my own home and when I go to work. I respectfully request this anti-harassment order to prevent any further contact or harassment from Mr. Fields, to protect myself from potential harm and stop the misuse of legal channels. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Fields, why don't you go ahead and tell me your side of it?
Yes, sir. What actually happened, sir? I don't know if you were the judge who dealt with my petition against him for harassment, but since that time,
I don't
I
think
have
I
not.
was. I don't
Yeah.
recall that, but I can check the court
Okay.
record because we have it right here. And
Right. That would help. Several things. First of
no, it
all,
looks like I was. It looks like I did
yeah, I
review
think you
that.
were. Yeah, because I had all three of them at the same time who also live in the building. Since that time, sir, I have not spoken to Joshua. I have not had any attempt whatsoever to deal with him. If he's coming in the building and I'm going out the building, I turn around and go the other way. So I'm not harassing him in any way whatsoever. Secondly, the reason he did this harassment is because management told him to do it, because they tried to give me a eviction notice. If you will look on the police report that I did give you a copy of, and a copy of the tape itself, when he first said, I banged on his door. If you open up that video, I hit his door. I came up from the bottom floor up to the fourth floor, hit his room one time. He opened the door. Then he goes, you need to stop harassing me because of the money that he owes me. Even during the trial, during the pretrial for my harassment, he claimed that he did not owe me anything. That is totally untrue. I have text messages showing that he was going to pay me. And that is why I went to his room on the 7th. After you look at the tape, I was there for approximately 5 seconds, sir. 5 seconds. Let's deal with the car on the 9th. And the only reason I went up to his room because he says, come get your money. Well, I went up. He didn't give it to me again, saying that I was discussing his private issues. I went, well, that has nothing to do with me. I just need my money back since he's owed me this since March. During the car on the 9th, when he claims that I harassed him again. If you look at the tape again, it shows I was already there smoking. He came to his car. There was 3 witnesses at the time. I said, I need my money. I did not lunge at him. And if you look at his police report that came with the same officer he just talked about, it says verbatim, he did not in any time touch me or try to touch me. It's in the police report. So I did not harass him again. I just asked for my money again. For that time period, when the video actually shows, it was 13 seconds. That's all it was. He got into his car and drove away. Why he's doing this, I don't know. I do know because the management here, her name is Gina Waldenberg, is extremely racist. She has sexually abused me. She has talked about my penis. She's brought me into the office with other managers there. She's brought me in the office with staff there about the same thing. They want to deal with what I look like as a man. Unfortunately, I can't change who I am. And that's why Joshua's doing what he's doing. But with the text messages, it shows exactly that he does owe me money. And that's why I have the small claims. And we'll be dealing with that on December 6th. That's all I have to say, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fields. All right. Now I've made the observation before that we would deal with the small claims case separately on its merits, and the fact that Mr. Fields filed a small claims case against Mr. Schwinning is not going to be considered by this court as harassment. Mr. Fields has every right to file a small claim, and if it's without merit, then that'll be determined at a hearing on that case where both parties have the opportunity to present their evidence to the court. Now, I've also reviewed the videos that have been submitted in support of the claim of harassment, and sometimes videos are not as helpful as people think they are because they tend not to show, or if there's not audio, they clearly don't depict what's being said. In this case, I've reviewed those videos, and they're ambiguous. They don't show anything other than Mr. Fields potentially coming up to a door and knocking, and the other videos show him being in the vicinity of a car for, as he characterized it, just a few seconds. So I don't really find these videos helpful either. So what I'm really left with here to determine whether harassment occurred is the contents of the petition that are filed by Mr. Schwinning, and then also the statement that he gave about it, the testimony that he offered, and then Mr. Fields' description and Mr. Fields' testimony in his defense regarding those incidents. And I'm not evaluating whether or not Mr. Schwinning owes Mr. Fields any money. It's not within the context of this case to determine that. Mr. Fields obviously believes that he does, and it sounds like Mr. Fields has taken some steps to try to collect money that he feels like he's owed. Now, that in and of itself is not harassment. People are allowed to attempt to collect money that they believe that they're legitimately owed. Obviously, they have to do that properly. They can't do that in violent or intimidating ways. And Mr. Schwinning states that Mr. Fields has made demands for money. He referenced an incident on July 7th. He also witnessed and testified about an incident on July 9th that he characterized as threatening to him, both in Mr. Fields's physical manner and also in Mr. Fields's words to him. Mr. Fields addressed those. He denied that that's what took place, and he pointed me to the videos to show that there was no interaction that could be characterized as violent or threatening. So based on having reviewed all of that, I do not find that harassment has taken place. As I said, those videos do not depict a person who's being physically violent, and as to what was said, I don't really know for sure because the videos don't depict that, but Mr. Fields does state that he was just trying to collect money and that he was not offering any threats or violence toward Mr. Schwinning. So Mr. Schwinning bears the burden of proving by a preponderance of the evidence that harassment has occurred in order for the court to find that he's entitled to an anti-harassment order. In this case, Mr. Schwinning has not carried that burden, and I cannot find on the basis of the evidence submitted here on both sides by a preponderance of the evidence that harassment has occurred. So the petition for an anti-harassment order will be denied. And I believe I will be seeing both of you again on December 6th to evaluate the merits of that small claim. But as I said, that will be done separately and entirely on its merits.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. I will just rely on property management pursuing eviction. Thank you.
Judge, is there a way that I can get a copy of the testimony today and for the last case? Because I do need that for the eviction.
You can. The easiest way to do that is just reach out to the court clerk's office here, the civil
Yes, sir.
court clerk's office, and they'll walk you through that process. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Fields.